Okay, let's unpack this whole content creator fantasy. You know the one. Post something, go viral.
Right.
Brands line up, bags of cash. It's the highlight reel we see everywhere.
That's the dream they sell, definitely.
But let's get real. What's actually happening behind those perfectly filtered posts?
Yeah.
Because honestly, from where I'm sitting, it looks a hell of a lot more like exploitation.
It's interesting you start there because you're right, that perception, it often doesn't match the reality for so many creators.
Exactly.
So today we're diving into this whole user-generated content economy, UGC, stuff made by regular users, not necessarily pros, and really looking at how brands and maybe platforms too might be, well, taking advantage.
Good.
We got articles, creator testimonials. We're going straight to the people living it.
Yeah. Our mission today is simple. Cut the influencer BS. Expose the grubby underbelly. What does this actually mean for anyone online, creator, or just scrolling? I'm here to be that voice. The frustrated one, saying what everyone's thinking, but maybe too polite to say out loud.
And I'll be trying to look at the bigger picture, the structural stuff. Because it is complex. I agree, there are serious problems, major ones, but it's not always totally black and white. We might have slightly different takes on, say, where the blame really lies, or what the solutions look like.
Okay, fine. But let's start with the obvious. Underpayment. Let's just rip that Band-Aid right off.
Yeah.
Brands, platforms, treating creators like they're disposable, expecting endless work for peanuts. Or sometimes
Yeah.
nothing at all.
Yeah.
It's insulting. It's just bad business.
And the data, it's pretty damning on that front. You look at that statistic from the Creator Union
Which one?
about LGBTQ plus X, disabled, plus size, black and brown influencers. They're disproportionately asked to work for free.
Unbelievable, but not surprising.
It really shows this fundamental undervaluing of the work, especially, like you said, hitting marginalized communities harder.
And the whole gifted collab thing. Please, don't get me started.
Yes, the free product exchange.
They send you, what, a $50 lipstick? And suddenly they expect 3 glowing posts, a dedicated story. It's free advertising for them and for you. Maybe a tax headache on something you can't even pay rent with.
Well, it's true that these gifted deals often do function like unpaid labor disguised as an opportunity.
Right.
And yeah, the creator carries the tax burden while the brand gets the benefit. But you could argue for some brand new creators, getting product is a way to build a portfolio or try stuff out. It's tricky. A bit of a double-edged sword, maybe.
Opportunity. Or obligation. More like obligation. You get the freebie, you feel like you have to post, even if it's junk.
That pressure is definitely real.
And Professor Duffy, Brooke Aaron Duffy, she absolutely nailed it. Quote, "In no other job would it be acceptable to not pay your workers for months after they completed the work. Months."
It's a shocking quote when you think about it in any other industry context.
Right. It's this winner-takes-all setup. A tiny few at the top make bank, while everyone else is just grinding, burning out. That survey, almost half of creators needing other jobs just to survive.
Yeah, the AWIN survey, 49%.
That's not a healthy ecosystem. That's exploitation with an Instagram filter slapped on it.
The winner-takes-all dynamic is definitely a huge factor. But, sometimes those early, maybe lower paid or gifted things, they can be a stepping stone for some, if they're strategic about it.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But a stepping stone to what? More low pay? More vague contracts designed to screw you over?
That's the danger. Yeah.
Look at Ana Hernandez, finding that hidden sales quota in a hair device deal.
That was a wild story, hidden deep in the contract.
Proves my point. These contracts are often traps, opaque, totally one-sided. And who has money for a lawyer when you're just starting out? Nobody.
Her experience really underscores why creators have to read every single line. But you're right, the lack of resources for legal review is a massive issue. And those really brought usage rights clauses. Nicole Okran and Lucy Molesworth from the UK Creator Union talk about this a lot. Creators just sign away their IP basically forever for maybe a couple $100 or less.
Or nothing. Especially when brands pull stunts like refusing to pay kill fees.
Right, the fee you're supposed to get if they cancel the project after you've started work.
Yeah. That UGC creator contract story.
Yeah.
The agency and the brand just refused to pay the 50% kill fee. Even though the work was done.
Awful.
What's the point of a contract if it's worthless paper? There's no power balance. None.
It really raises serious questions about enforcement, about accountability. Without easy legal recourse, creators are just left hanging, incredibly vulnerable.
and the platforms.
Yeah.
Don't pretend there's some neutral playground here.
Yeah.
They are actively making it worse.
How so?
They care about their ad revenue, their engagement metrics, not fair pay for the people actually making the content that keeps users on the platform.
Well, Sean Kim, who used to be at TikTok, he was pretty blunt about it.
Yeah. What did he say?
He basically admitted their big $2 billion creator fund. It wasn't really about helping creators earn a living. It was a reactive measure to keep them from leaving the platform.
Wow. Just retention.
His quote was something like, "Their focus is on retention, daily active users, publish rates. Monetization for creators, not the priority."
Exactly. So creators are stuck chasing the algorithm, right? Trying to please it. Views go up, views go down. Some people even said their views dropped after joining the fund.
Yeah, the algorithmic unpredictability is another huge stressor.
And now Instagram's 2025 terms of service. Did you see this?
I did, granting Meta broad rights.
Broad rights. They get to use our posts for their ads, for training their AI, that LaMAB model, with no extra pay. Are you kidding me? That's not just moving the goalposts. That's stealing the entire damn field.
That move by Meta, it definitely sparked a lot of concern about ownership, about the value of creator content, especially now with AI developing so fast. It's totally understandable why creators feel like their work is just being fed into the machine. A machine that could potentially compete with them down the line for free.
Okay, let's circle back to those gifted collabs. Because it's not just about the free stuff or the taxes. It's this ethical black hole.
How do you mean?
It creates this obligation, doesn't it? This feeling you owe the brand something, even if the product sucks, even if the unspoken terms are exploitative.
Yeah, it absolutely blurs the lines between a genuine gift and a work agreement. And you're right about the tax thing. That Threads comment summed it up perfectly.
Which one?
The one pointing out the creator pays taxes on the gift's value while the brand just writes it off as a business expense.
The asymmetry. It's fundamentally unfair.
It does feel skewed, yeah.
Skewed. It's daylight robbery dressed up as a perk.
Yeah.
And now, on top of everything, these same platforms are just going to hoover up all our content, the stuff we often made for free or for peanuts, to train their AI.
That's the core fear, isn't it?
They profit twice. Once from our unpaid or underpaid work generating the content, and again using that same content to build AI that could replace us.
It really cuts to the heart of data ownership, intellectual property, the future of creative work itself. The fact that platforms like Instagram are explicitly saying, yes, we can use your posts to train our AI and put them in ads without paying you more, that has huge implications.
It's dehumanizing. It feels like we're not artists, not entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We're just data points, cogs in their machine. What's the actual human cost of all this relentless grind?
Oh, the emotional toll is massive. You hear creators saying they feel incredibly undervalued and disposable. That hits hard. Mentally, emotionally, the constant pressure, the financial instability, it grinds people down.
And the burnout stats. Almost 80% of influencers admit burnout, and it hits younger creators the hardest.
Yeah, that AWIN report, again, it's startlingly high.
This isn't some sustainable career path for most people. It's a fast track to anxiety, exhaustion. Professor Duffy calls it that winner-takes-all economy, just amplifying existing inequities. And she's spot on.
Absolutely.
You see the shiny highlight reel, you chase that dream, and then reality hits. You're left feeling used, maybe even in debt.
That cycle of hope and then rejection, or hope and then exploitation, it's definitely a huge factor in burnout. And the lack of clear rules, lack of regulation, it just makes everything worse. Leaves creators feeling powerless.
Powerless, helpless, and constantly getting hit up for free work. Nicole Okran talking about marginalized creators always being asked to work for exposure. That's not a one-off, it's systemic.
Yeah, it's a recurring theme. And Ana Hernandez, her work exposing those scammy agencies like Poseidon Group.
Right. That shows the really dark side. It's not just underpayment, it's outright scams sometimes.
And remember, Jenna, the TikTok UGC creator. Denied payment even though she had a kill fee in her contract.
Exactly. It's a stark reminder of the risks. Even with a contract, you're not always safe.
These aren't just isolated horror stories. They're symptoms of a system that feels, well, fundamentally broken in many ways.
Broken is putting it mildly. And it's not just the big names like Instagram or TikTok, is it? This rot goes deeper.
No, you see similar issues everywhere. TikTok's creator fund has had its controversies. Instagram's branded content policies can be confusing. Even on platforms like LinkedIn or X, you sometimes see user content just appear in corporate marketing without credit.
The agencies, you mentioned Poseidon, remember Speaker?
Oh yeah, that scam.
They prey on creators' hope, their desperation. It's like a feeding frenzy out there.
And if you look globally, that example from China's live streaming industry,
What was that?
these incredibly restrictive multi-year contracts, huge fines if creators try to leave early, basically treating them like indentured labor.
Jesus.
It just shows how bad things can get when there are zero protections for creators.
So this isn't just a US or UK problem, it's global.
Absolutely. Look at the UK. There's that documented pay gap between white influencers and influencers of color. Still, even after all the talk.
Apparently. And some reports suggest those diversity initiatives that popped up after the BLM protests, they've kind of faded.
Depressing. And the U.S. still feels like the Wild West, basically.
Pretty much, California has that law for kidfluencers now, which is something.
A tiny something.
But yeah, no real federal regulation. The American Influencer Council exists, but actual laws, not really.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, even places like India are drafting influencer marketing acts. China has content restrictions.
So other countries are trying, at least.
They're grappling with it. And interestingly, in some developing markets where lowballing creators is just standard practice, you're starting to see grassroots movements, creators banding together, demanding better.
Okay, so banding together, collective power. It sounds good, but what can one creator actually do right now, sitting there feeling overwhelmed by all this?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? And it does feel overwhelming. But okay, practical steps. First, clear written contracts, always.
Non-negotiable. Payment schedules, kill fees baked in, and really clear definitions of usage rights. Jenna's advice was spot on. Talk about usage rights early. Don't leave it vague.
And payment up front.
Yeah.
Seriously, if a brand or an agency has no track record or a shady one, no upfront payment means no work, period.
That needs to become the standard. Absolutely. No track record, no work without upfront payment. Make it a mantra.
Right.
Also, negotiate those usage fees. If they want to use your content for longer or on different platforms or in ads, that costs extra royalties. Think like a business licensing your work.
Okay, that makes sense. Don't just give it all away.
And diversify. Don't put all your eggs in the brand deal basket. Look at Patreon, memberships, selling merch, courses, whatever fits your niche. It gives you more leverage if one income stream is problematic.
Yeah, build your own thing.
And maybe set a target for yourself. Like, what's your living wage number for your creative work? Frame negotiations around that. Know your worth.
What about those transparency platforms like FYP, where people share rates?
I think those could be really powerful. Sharing information levels the playing field. Knowledge is power here. Blockchain for licensing. Maybe further off, but interesting.
And connecting with other creators, right?
Yeah.
Sharing info, warnings.
Yes. Collective action is key. Unions, informal networks, those red flag lists of bad actors, vital. And longer term, pushing for actual regulation, extending labor protections, enforcing right of publicity. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, so Grandee, you mentioned this platform. It's being pitched as like a constructive alternative. What's the deal? What makes it different?
Well, what's interesting about their model is how directly they tackle that payment issue. They require the brand to pay upfront into escrow, basically, before the creator starts working.
Okay, that immediately shifts the risk.
Exactly, away from the creator. It also forces direct communication and clear agreement on usage terms right from the start.
Just basic professional business practices, essentially, which is somehow revolutionary in this space.
Kind of, yeah. By treating UGC explicitly as licensed work, with clear compensation and terms agreed upon beforehand, it offers a potentially more equitable model. Plus, they include analytics for creators too, apparently. Adds another layer of transparency that's often missing elsewhere. It's not going to solve everything overnight, but it's definitely a step towards a fairer system.
Okay, all right, so wrapping this up, it's kind of a dumpster fire, isn't it? Underpayment is standard. Contracts full of traps, platforms acting like puppet masters, prioritizing their own profits, these ethical nightmares around gifting, and now AI scraping our work. The real human cost, the burnout, the feeling disposable, have we even scratched the surface?
Probably not entirely. And I think there's slightly different angles on this. Your righteous frustration and my focus on the systemic stuff, it just shows how complicated this whole landscape is. But the frustration highlights the urgency, and understanding the system helps find solutions.
So for everyone listening, I guess the real question is this. Are we just going to keep scrolling through the pretty lies, keep accepting this broken system? Or are we actually going to demand change? Demand that creators get valued, get compensated fairly.
Yeah.
It really is time to wake up to the power dynamics here and figure out how we, collectively, can start to flip the script. Think about that next time you double tap.